Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun. You know, a lot of people don't like the place that I go to. Like,
Really?
they have 4.8 out of 5 stars with thousands and thousands of reviews.
Yeah.
But someone had gone onto our community page and said, you know, you need to go check out this place, and this is where I get my nails done. And, like, there were, like, laughies, and they're like, this is a joke, right?
Really?
I love the new owners and stuff. We're talking about my nails.
Yeah.
And I did a they're actually considered like sweater weather.
Yeah.
So it's like a little sweater. They're orange. There's
Perfect.
I don't know. She does a great job.
Yeah, I
Go
love
see
them.
Sarah. She's amazing.
I love them.
I know.
Very cute.
I know. So cute. How was your vacation?
I wish I was there still.
I know. I bet it's never long
God,
enough.
it isn't.
Especially up there, right? At the cabin.
You know, it's so relaxing, and like, not everybody got to come that was supposed to come, so that was kind of sad. But everybody that came had a great time, and the kids, you know, were riding four-wheelers and fishing all day. And I had brought a bag of stuff for like the young kids.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for them to be like, I'm bored. You know, they never said it. Not once. So
You didn't
they
even have to open the bag?
No, they put themselves to bed at night. They were so worn out.
From running around and swimming, and I saw you
Yeah.
have a pier out there and stuff. Oh my god.
It's so much fun. I love going up there.
How long does it take you to get up there? Steve was asking me.
About 5 hours. No. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
it's about 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's all the way up by Minneapolis. You know, we live in northern Illinois, and it's all the way up by Minneapolis. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you really push it, you can get there in 4.5. But holy smokes, I say I saw no less than 17 state troopers on the way up there.
You know, I saw a lot yesterday as well. And I only drove an hour and a half north.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe
So
it. They were pulling people over left and right.
Yes. And it was like you would see one and you'd be like, oh, okay, you know, I can do like 82. And it's like, oh, fuck, there's another one,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then we saw there was like, oh, is that my phone ringing? I'm so sorry.
maybe.
Let me turn it off.
I was checking mine because Steven's on his way down to
Yeah,
Miami.
it is. Okay. Sorry, Tyler. I'll have to call you back.
Hi, Tyler.
You'll hear this on Friday.
Hi, Kendra.
Yeah, we saw like there was like 2 cops sitting on the side of the road, and then we're going under an overpass, and there was 4 or 5 squad cars up top, and they were walking in the grass.
Oh.
So they were looking for something or somebody.
I was
or
on my way home
something.
yesterday, and some unfortunate soul was handcuffed, and his pants were falling off.
Oh boy, how
Yep.
embarrassing!
Oh, gosh. Yeah, with a really
Well.
nice red Cadillac. Who
Oh.
knows? Stolen, no
Stolen?
license. We don't
Maybe?
know.
Who knows? You know?
I just did exactly what everyone online does when someone posts a picture and they assume what's happening. I was going past going, whoa, stolen, no license, no insurance, felon. I'm like, you don't know any
Felons.
situation. Shut your mouth,
we
lady.
have no clue. Jeez,
It could have been anything.
It could have been. I don't know a good
Right.
scenario. I can't think of a good outcome from that.
I know. And then today I was down by Lake Zurich because
Yeah.
12 is the worst.
Yeah.
People drive it like they're maniacs. They just
Yes.
are. I mean, they just drive it way too fast. They drive it like it's 94, like a main
Yes.
highway, right?
Yes.
And it's not. There's lights and
Right,
stuff. And there
right.
was such a bad crash. It was backing everyone
Oh,
up going
no.
south. Luckily, I had missed it. It was behind me. And then I came back up and just
Yeah.
it was terrible.
That is
Absolutely
bad.
terrible.
I don't want to say that I normally break the law, but I mean 12.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
You're doing like, I mean, I was doing like 70.
And
some
you know,
dude
it's a
was up
45
my
or
butt.
50,
Yeah.
right? Is it 45 or 50?
Sometimes 50.
I mean, people drive past you like you're
Yeah,
standing still.
I know.
It's crazy.
And you look down and you're going, Jesus, I'm going 65.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, you know, if I got some good music on, I'm going
Yeah.
88. You know,
I
following
know.
the track, and you
I
can't
know.
do that.
I know. Well, you know what else bothers me? Speaking of traffic, I think on 90, there's a big chunk of 90 where it's 70 miles an hour is the speed limit. And like people don't realize that, and they're doing 70 in the far left lane. It's like,
right,
bro, get
right.
over.
They did just have signs. I noticed that they were saying leave the left lane for passing. Did you see that?
Well, okay.
I know you're supposed to do that, but
Right.
I don't ever think that they ever talk about it in Illinois. And I noticed that the signs were up there.
So every time we go to the cabin, they always have signs up that say funny things, right? And it says like, go camping in the woods, not in the left lane.
Yeah.
This year
it
was tailgate at the game, not in the left lane.
Love that.
So yeah, I try to stay out of the very far left lane. I'll at least stay over one and just try to pass in the far left,
I didn't have any funny signs last week.
No.
But going down to the city, Chicago,
yeah,
I had missing people signs last week.
Dude, I told you my conspiracy on that is like they always have those like silver alerts for
Yes.
like elderly people.
Yes.
And I say people are always willing to help, but like nobody wants to be a knock. You don't want to be a knock. So it's like they get you to think like, oh, I'm helping, I'm helping if I see this car. But really, what if you're just like telling on somebody,
You know what? That is so funny because I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Like I was, you daydream after a long day of work and you're driving. I'm like, what if I pass this red Toyota Corolla and it's, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was like remember we went through the whole alerts before
Right.
in an earlier episode. It was like purple alert, silver alert.
Yeah.
I can't remember what yellow alert. I don't remember
Amber
which
alert.
one. Yeah, I don't remember which one this was.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, what if I see it? So of course you kind of start like looking around and you're like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I would call and say,
I'm
but what if it's not the car? What if
Yeah.
it's someone that's trying to get away? I think of all of this. What if there's a red Toyota RAV, let's say, I think that's what it was. It wasn't a Corolla that was on the highway and you see it, but then they end up stopping this person and it's someone that's trying to get away from a spouse or something. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden, I just think of that kind of stuff. Like, let it be.
I know. I'm like, you know what? That ain't my job.
I know.
That's
And then
just
they're
not my
always
job.
like, see something, say something. See, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know
Yeah.
what to do. Although I do have to say that Julie and I did call 911 when she had danced years ago. I may have talked about this before. And the person was just erratic.
Yeah.
Like, so bad. Like Julia was shaking
Yeah.
because she was like, they're going to hit somebody. And then like the door kind of opened a little
Oh my
bit. And then all of a sudden they would
gosh.
just go whipping around like something, they were falling asleep or something was happening. And so we did call. And I said, I explained what the car that I was in. I said, I'm going to continue following them because we just so happen to be going in that same way. Like if they turn and, whatever. And so we're on and Julia just like in the background, she's like, oh my God, because they went through a red light in the intersection and stuff. And then all of a sudden she was like, okay, an officer thinks that he's right next to you. Look to your left. And I look to my left and he's looking at me. I'm like, oh, yep, you found us. And sure enough, he did pull the person over. And when I dropped her off at dance and then was driving home, or no, I was driving somewhere else for a second. She hold on one second. Actually, now mine's calling me.
Come on.
No.
Don't you guys know we're busy?
I know. Let me just look
Jeez.
real quick.
It's just spam. Suspicious spam. No, it's important.
She is officially on the marketing team for her place of work, and she is getting extra an extra salary for it. And the boss just sent her something that said, can you please send me the video that you made and that you posted yesterday? The corporate company likes it and wants to post it too.
Stop.
She's good. And that's what she's going back to school for. So
hell?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
She needs to
my
be our
story.
marketing person.
But as I
Anyways.
was coming back from dropping her off, they were searching the car, and I was like, "Oh no, I did
Yeah.
that." So then I felt bad, but then I also was like,
you probably saved
lives." Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. It's weird, right? I wonder if anyone else is feeling like that 50-50 like us.
Yeah, because there's been times I'm driving to work. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and this person in front of me, I'm like, are they texting?
Yeah.
Are they drunk?
Yeah.
Are they having a medical emergency?
Right.
Like, what is going on?
And you do
know?
kind of go through the emotions like, okay, do I
Yeah.
just watch this for a little bit? And then that's all you're doing is concentrating on what they're doing. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
You don't know what to do. I know it's
I try
weird.
to get the hell away from them when they drive like that. Just get the hell away from me.
For me, I always check to see if they have bumps in their car, like dents and stuff, because then you know. Like there was one that was kind of back and forth, like years ago, and all of a sudden I looked on the right side of their car and it was all dented up. I'm like, yep, get out of there, get away from them.
I see people in the parking lots And generally it's the older generations,
Oh,
you know.
no.
And you just know, you see those yellow lines, like they ran into those poles in the parking lots. Like, I'm like, just stay away from my car, man. Just park over there somewhere.
I have my first ding in my new car.
No.
And I visited 28 stores last week in like 3 days. 28, actually 30, almost 30. And I walked out to the garage today, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh no. And it's one little ding, like somebody got me. I was so sad. 18,000 miles later, that's not too bad, really. The first ding is the hardest, though.
You kind of want to be the person who does the first ding. So
then
at least you don't feel so bad. Like, yeah, I already messed it up. So, whatever.
So, enough of our driving stories.
Yeah. I was going to say, does our makeup match today, too?
We do. We probably used ColourPop. That's why.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so fall vibes. Are you?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm like all the oranges.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I think it looks good on blue eyes and on green. Yeah.
I usually try to match my outfit,
So, do you understand market saturation?
Does that mean there's a lot of something?
Yeah, it arises when the volume of a product or service in a marketplace has been maximized.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
The only reason why I wanted to talk about that is because it's been a couple years now. Julia decided to make jewelry.
Yes.
And right when she started doing it, it just became, I think it was COVID, right? We always have to say that.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing things at home in between their probably Teams calls and stuff. They started making jewelry or different crafts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about that because TikTok again. I'm going on TikTok, and I watched one video on those fizz rings and stuff. Every single video
me crazy.
Is now a fizzy, let's find diamonds and all that, and they're all different people, so it's getting saturated, right?
I hate when I accidentally like an ad.
Yes.
And it's like, oh shit. Because we all know that I just finished Gilmore Girls earlier this year.
Yeah.
And holy shit, how many ads I get for Gilmore Girls merchandise is just ridiculous.
I don't know what TikTok is trying to tell me, but it keeps telling me that there's a drug like Ozempic out there. I was like, listen, bitch.
Great, now I'm going to get that one.
Shut your phone off. And I think it's because my bestie and I were talking about it, and she said, I think I might try this other one. It's an off-brand, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you don't need it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, because it's in the text message, we weren't on the phone talking. It's in our text messages. It must have pulled that word. And now my TikTok and my Instagram is all how to lose weight, and you can do it this way, and all the syringes, and it's kind of like this, and crazy.
I just, I'm not a skinny person, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm so against Ozempic. I'm just waiting for the class action lawsuits to come out.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that on here, but you know what I mean? All of them.
But I mean,
it's not just
it's
that
everything.
one.
Yeah, right.
But any of those weight loss shots that you do,
Yeah.
and it makes you drop weight so quick. And people talk about the face, right? It's the O face, and it's like, because you lose weight so fast, that can't be healthy,
Yeah.
One day I will get off my butt and I will work out more than I do at work.
Right.
And I will cut my calories, and then you'll all really be sorry.
Right.
Then I really will have it all,
Well, and as we know, there's so many different options for people that need that assistance, right? Some people need help, and I get that.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel like there are some people that probably don't need it, because you can see it in their faces and stuff. But so that keeps coming up too. So I was just like,
that's definitely
so my
the
TikTok
talk of the town
is
right now.
saturated with it. So did you know, which makes sense, I don't think I've ever said it out loud, but to combat market saturation, firms, companies, corporations will create products that wear down over time and need replacing. Like, for example, light bulbs, but light bulbs have always been like that. We know that they're limited.
Yeah.
But how about, I don't know how many times I said, or people have said, they don't make things like they used to.
Right.
Because the market is saturated, right?
They need you to replace it.
Any type of, like, Steve has this thing that picks up the leaves, and he bought it a couple years ago. It completely fell apart. It was all plastic.
Yeah.
So he did his research and went online and, which one should I get? I don't want to buy something plastic, and got something with metal. It's going to last him a while, I hope.
Right.
So it's
you know,
kind
you're
of like
almost
that.
better off just making your own stuff nowadays, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Seriously. Like, use a rake.
Yeah. Get your exercise, Steve. I mean, I always think, like, what else can people invent, right? That hasn't been invented yet. Obviously, we all think about, like, what's that $1 million idea?
I know.
You know?
I know.
And I just can't think of anything that I just can't live without, you know?
I've had it happen a few times where I thought, man, if I could, who do I reach out to? This is such a
Yeah.
great idea. And about a year later, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Someone's making millions.
There it is. There it is.
Someone's making
Even
millions.
like you think the pet rock.
Yeah.
How stupid.
Yeah.
And somebody made millions off of it.
And guess what? You can go online and you can find painted pet rocks.
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd ever buy bottles of water?
Yeah.
And not just drink tap water anymore, you know?
Yep. I mean, just
Yeah.
think about it. All the different jewelry. You go to craft shows.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There's so many different, like, oh my gosh, there's so many great wood creators, glass creators.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, I had Bottles by Design, and I did all the bottles inside the wine
Yes.
bottles. Now that
Yes.
is just so saturated. You
Yeah.
people were buying my bottles for weddings, and I was shipping them everywhere, 50 states, and then it got no fun because I was getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't art.
Yes.
Right? I
Right.
did it because I was home with the kids, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is going to be a lot of fun. But then all of a sudden, it was like, this showed up broke, and this is that, when, you know, show me a picture. Well, I already threw it out. I can't, you know, they just wanted to get extra things. It became
Yeah.
no fun.
We
That's
met.
where I decided
Yeah.
to go where we met.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just,
Once your hobby becomes your job, it's not fun anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
And different art projects.
My
and I
grandma
used
has
to
always
paint
said that.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's a quilter, you know, and she loves making quilts for people. But if she had like a deadline and a timeline and I want only these colors and, you know, I always say, hey, you know, we just had Bree's baby shower and
Yep.
we gave her a really cute quilt from grandma.
Yep.
And I was like, it's a girl and daisies are her decor. And she made the cutest quilt. And then come to find out, Bree's naming the baby Daisy. So
Yeah.
it was so perfect,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
But yeah, I don't tell her this color. You know, she likes to use her creativeness to do it.
Yep. I mean, we can even think of saturation as music and movies too.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know, everyone has different lives, so they can write about something different or sing about
Yeah.
something different. But in the end, a lot of it is the same.
Yeah.
There are some unique ones, and those are the ones that are popular. So here's my question for you. And I mentioned in our text message the Poppy Company.
Oh, the
Right?
soda.
What made that just?
my
So
God, I
yes,
love
she was
it.
on. They were on Shark Tank.
Oh,
right?
I
don't
didn't
know who
know
the
that.
owner. I
Yeah.
believe they were on Shark Tank, and the only reason why I believe that is because TikTok told me.
Yeah.
Because I think I mentioned it to somebody about it, and I'm sure I'll see more now.
Yeah.
And now it's just these huge coolers and pallet drops of Poppy
Yes.
and four
Yes.
cans and 6 cans or 8 cans, something like that. You know, I'm seeing it
Yeah.
everywhere, and they're on promo, and they're $3 for a can. I'm like, holy moly!
Yes.
Then again, Liquid Death. Here I'm
Yep.
drinking Liquid Death, blows up, and it's literally water in a can. Like,
yeah.
so we're oversaturated with the bottles
Right.
of water, with pop, with sparkling water.
Yeah.
And yet here are the names that are making it. So my question to you is it just the name? Is it the marketing? What do you think draws people to make
I
that
don't
number one
know.
company?
You know-
Someone's got to be number one, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
But someone's
yeah.
got to be number one. We
right,
get it. But
right.
what
Like
do you think?
I think about Nike. You know, like that's such a popular athletic brand. But you also have New Balance, Reebok, Adidas.
Yeah.
And they all kind of have their area, I guess, you
Yep.
know. Like I feel like Reebok is more football, where Nike is more basketball, and Adidas is soccer, you know. So
Sure.
I guess, you know, getting to be the best in your little niche or whatever you want to
Yep.
call it. I was going to say the thing about Poppy is their number one competitor, I would say, is Olipop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Olipop has to be refrigerated. So that's a huge thing that Poppy doesn't have to be
They're
refrigerated.
shelf stable.
They can take up so much more space in a store than Olipop can. That takes up cooler space.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine purchasing floor space is a lot cheaper than refrigerated
Yeah,
space, you know.
I agree.
So, and they're about the same price.
Are they?
Yeah.
$249
Yeah,
or something I've
something
been
like that.
seeing. Probably more expensive other places, but
Yeah.
you know, I completely forgot about Olipop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how does, let's just say Olipop started.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they were the first idea. 2
Yeah.
grams of sugar.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. I don't know
Apple
who started
cider
it.
vinegar, I think,
sure,
is in
sure.
both of
Let's
them,
just say
right?
they started it. And then So then they have to be refrigerated because of what they have, no preservatives or whatever. But then Poppy comes around and Poppy is blowing them out of the water.
Yeah.
Then as for Olipop, then what do you do to market yourself?
Okay, so I just Googled, and it says Olipop was founded in 2018, a few years before Poppy, which was launched in 2020. So it's Olipop is a line of sparkling digestive tonics.
Okay.
That are prebiotic and contain fiber. So I did not realize, and I read the label and it did say something about fiber.
Is it chicory root?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say.
I feel like sometimes when things say fiber, it's chicory root.
Yes, I think you're right.
Okay. Maybe.
So then Poppy was founded by husband and wife duo, Stephen and Allison Ellsworth.
That's Poppy?
Yep. And it's a soda that combines fruit juice, apple cider vinegar, and inulin prebiotics. It was originally named differently, but was rebranded to Poppy, a play on soda pop after a deal with an investor. So both Olipop and Poppy are considered healthy beverages, but experts say they can only be considered healthy, with quotes, when compared to traditional sodas.
Sure.
So
and that's only because they have less carbs and less sugar than soda.
Yeah.
Regular soda, I should say. Diet's 0, but.
So I guess that's a difference between Olipop and Poppy, is that Poppy is the one that has the apple cider vinegar in it.
Okay.
Olipop does not.
But they have something else then. They have some kind of fiber. So they are a little bit different.
Yeah.
And Olipop has to stay refrigerated where Poppy's shelf stable. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, now again, this is 2024 and we're talking about oversaturation, but I don't feel it's oversaturated when it comes to that. In a year, I'd like to see how many more companies have different clever names of something similar. Maybe someone else combines the fiber and the apple cider vinegar and makes Pop It or something.
Super Pop.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which is funny because I feel like pop is such a Midwest thing. Other people call it soda.
Soda, right.
Like
there you go.
A lot of places in the country do not call it pop.
Call it sody.
Yeah, sody.
Soapy, sody. I don't know.
Not soapy.
There we go. If anybody comes up with that, we need our 10%.
Yeah, give us a kickback. Jesus, we're starving over here.
So along with the oversaturation, I also wanted to look up the most profitable businesses in 2024.
Oh, okay.
So to give people an idea. So maybe if someone's at home or at work listening and they're like, well, I was going to start this and this, and we're giving you some ideas not to. Let's talk about, so try to guess a couple things that are real popular around here that would be profitable in 2024 that you've seen a big trend on. It's something that I always talk about.
Oh, God.
What's number one?
I can't see your laptop.
I'm not showing you.
Where's your glasses? Okay, so you talk about it a lot?
I do talk about it a lot. I tell Steve a lot. I'm like, if we don't get into it, it's just, this is it. This is the time to get into it. And I was so excited to see this as number one.
Is it banquet halls?
Very close. Food trucks.
Food trucks.
Yes, you're always so close. It's always about food. Yeah.
Always about food.
It's always about, you're like right with the numbers too.
Yeah, food trucks are very popular in our area.
So number one is food trucks. The movement has been experiencing consistent growth.
Yeah.
I past 5 years. See that. And it's expected to continue.
Well, you got to think owning a restaurant compared to owning a food truck, the overhead in a restaurant, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It is projected to grow $6.87 billion by 2029.
That's insane.
Get a food truck if you want to make some money. It's a lot of work. It's no joke.
I mean, you're working 6 days a week, 7 days a week, probably.
Yeah.
Because even on your day off, like if you're only, don't go out on Mondays, I'm sure you're still doing shit, for the business.
It does say that keep in mind that bigger, trendier cities like San Fran, Boston, Washington, D.C., they already are pretty saturated as a market. But, go to your own small town and do it. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we have a ton of them here in our area, which, I mean, I feel like our area is moderately sized, right?
Yeah.
We're not a tiny town,
right?
But we have probably 8 or 10 that cycle through.
Yep.
We got that place near us where you see the board. It says this is the food trucks for the week, and you drive by and there they are.
Then we have we had food truck here in the city that's every Wednesday.
Doing that anymore? Are they doing
They
that
are.
still?
They are.
Oh.
Live music and everything.
Oh, jeez.
Every
Shows
week,
how much
4
I
or
get
5
out.
trucks show up,
Yeah.
I think, and there's live music, and amazing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yep. So get on the trend, everybody, if you want to. Actually, don't, because we're thinking about doing it.
Yeah, don't do it.
So don't do it yet. Let us be successful
give
first.
us our 10% kickback.
This next one surprised me because I have family members that owned this, and they just were right before the big movement.
Okay.
But number 2 is car wash services.
Yeah.
But I feel like when they're saying car wash services, it's the inside, outside. It's not just the drive-through spotless ones, where you do that kind of. This is like a full service is what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Fast Eddie's, right?
Yes,
That's a popular one around here.
Yes, it is. Yep. And
they
then
vacuum it, they throw it through the car wash, and then they shine everything
and you have
up.
someone that does the inside, outside, everything. They do a great job. The other ones are also free vacuum ones, where it's free vacuums.
If you buy a car wash?
Yeah, you go through the car wash. Steven has these down in Florida. You pay to go through the car wash, and then you park, and you do everything yourself, but it's free vacuums, free Windex, free shine. It's all of that, but you pay for the car wash, but you do the work yourself.
I see a girl on TikTok, and she's got a couple kids, right? So her van is always just trashed, and she'll take you with her while she goes and washes her car. And she runs it through. She pays a membership, right? A monthly membership, so she can go as many times as she wants.
Oh, wow.
And she goes through the car wash, which you don't really ever see that. But then they have spray, they have vacuums, they have fabric spray. So, and it's just like a dispenser, like not a spray bottle. Like you just on your seat, and then they got rags for you to use to clean up anything, gunky stuff from the kids, milk spills, whatever. But yeah, I feel like you don't need a lot of people to run that place, right?
Right.
You
need someone to do the laundry of all the towels.
Yeah, do the towels. You need somebody there probably,
Machine
during
IT.
hours.
Yeah,
Sure. I see a lot of people on TikTok also that own laundromats and vending machines.
Yeah.
Very low overhead, right? You go check it once a week or once every other week, refill it. They just buy the shit at Sam's Club, to refill their vending machines. And then, they pay 50 cents for a candy bar because they buy a pack of 50 of them, and they charge $1.25 for it.
Yep.
It pays your rent, it pays you, and it pays for the candy.
I have a family member that is very successful in the vending business. So, yeah, it's amazing.
That was my first job. I worked for a vending machine company.
Yeah, you went and filled it all up and stuff?
All I did, they had actual food vending machines.
Oh.
So I made sandwiches, and then I would open a huge can of pudding and then put it into individual cups.
Okay.
And seal them and put a little sticker on it. And then they would come during the day and they would pick up all the trays I made. They go fill up the vending machines.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that about you. Did you do egg salad sandwiches and tuna salad sandwiches?
Yes, everything. And it's so funny because I was 14.
Yeah.
I was 14.
Yeah.
I would ride my bike. They also owned a restaurant, like a hot dog place,
Yeah.
And so I would ride my bike down there. It was probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. And I would leave my bike back by the dumpster, and I would go in the back door, and I had my little area in the back room where I would work, so I just, hey, I'm here. I'd grab a donut or a hot dog, and then I'd go start making my the one lady that ran most of it, she would leave me a list, make a tray of this, 2 trays of this, 2 trays of this, So one day I go to leave work, they took my bike. I think they picked up the dumpster and they just grabbed my bike. And my mom had just bought me that bike for my birthday, and I had it maybe a month.
Oh,
and
no.
It got taken. And she's yelling at me. I'm like, I don't know. I always parked it, behind the dumpster.
Right. Oh, no.
So I'm like, can I get a ride to work? She's like, you can walk. I'm like, I got to leave 2 hours before work.
Aw.
Anyways, I made $7 an hour, which was pretty good back then.
For when you were 14?
14, making
that's
17,
good. Yeah.
$7 an hour. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
So the car wash market is projected to increase close to $16 billion. I'm sorry, close to $24 billion by 2030.
I could imagine. That's got to be a big business.
And just, I forgot to mention that this is from nerdwallet.com. So take a look.
Nerd Wallet.
So the next one, again, I'm not so sure. I feel like this falls under they don't make things like they used to, is that auto repair.
Oh, can we not?
I almost didn't want to bring up number 3 because I know how much money you just dropped on your car.
Oh, my God. Johnny was so mad at me. I'm grounded. He's like, you spent more than it's worth. And I'm like Googling it because I'm like, shit, did I? And I was like, it's worth more than that, you know?
And
it
was close.
It was close. But I was like, you know what? I need this car to last me like another 2 years. And I'm buying a brand new car.
Yeah.
I am buying a brand new freaking car in 2026.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Additionally, car owners are more likely to visit a small repair shop in their town.
Which I love to do.
Yeah. Yep. Support small business, right? So that's
what about
why.
your husband's car? Your husband's car was just in the shop too.
Oh, he dropped the same as you.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least his is worth more than mine.
But again, we went to a local friend and a small business. And so, so they're saying number 3 is auto repair.
You know, I tell these kids, like, get into a trade or get into something like that. Like a mechanic.
Yeah.
You see how much I paid almost the parts. I paid the same amount or more for labor. You know?
Yeah.
They charge a lot for labor.
Yep.
So,
they
anyways, open up a garage.
The next one is another one that kind of surprised me because I do feel like it's oversaturated, but maybe there's more people now that there's a trend, and that's personal trainers. I feel like those are everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it even says, throw a few weights, bands, and yoga mats into the trunk of your car and take your fitness show on the road. Like, I feel like that's oversaturated. There are a lot of gyms.
Could you imagine me showing up? Come on, let's go. We're going to do some
not?
yoga.
I mean, if you know
I'm doing.
You know the system and you know what you're doing and you know how to train, who cares, right?
I'm just imagining myself sitting there like, do it like this now while I'm like eating a bag of chips.
Stop.
Okay, now we're going to do downward dog. Yep, just like that. You're doing great.
No talking.
That would be my personal training
I don't
style.
know. It says you can become a personal trainer by offering one-on-ones at homes, advertising group classes. It's projected to grow 14%.
That's insane.
Through 2032. So I don't know. I mean, is there just more of us that are into more health?
No. It's because people are going to stop taking their weight loss shots.
And they're going to need some.
And they're going to need somebody to come kick their ass into shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one did not surprise me. Newborn and post-pregnancy services. We were born in 2020 at home with our spouses, and there was a baby boom, right? Yes. So I feel like that is something that $106 billion increase and growth in the next couple years. Yeah, that's huge.
Have you seen those people that like they go to the house overnight of the newborn parents?
Oh, that's big.
Yes, and they like help the mom, like they
overnight
they bring them the baby,
They're an
or
overnight nanny.
They bring them their breast pump. Okay, it's time for you to pump. I already fed the baby the milk you left them, and change their diaper, and they're in bed again. And
Yep.
How nice would that be?
Yep.
I wonder how much they charge to do that. I should do that.
Yep. I feel like it is people that need to go back to work immediately, or some. I don't know. I haven't decided who is looking for an overnight nanny.
Rich people.
I didn't want to say it.
Rich people. Out of our tax bracket.
Hey, Bree's having a baby soon. Bree, are you going to have an overnight nanny? Will you hire me?
Will you just do some research and find out how much it costs? It'd be weird if we asked, but you're actually pregnant.
Her shower was so cute.
It was very cute.
Okay, so number 6 and number 7, I feel like they sort of go together. So the number 6 is enrichment activities for children, and number 7 is mobile apps and entertainment for children. So again, let's keep
mobile apps for children, because we made this like huge generation of iPad kids.
Yeah, they were born with tablets and iPads and phones in their hands.
Yeah.
So it's the next best whatever app, right?
Yeah.
So let's keep the children in activities and let's keep them entertained, right?
Well, I mean, I feel bad for kids because I'm not a parent, okay? And I'm not judging anybody. you do what you got to do to keep the kid entertained, right? But man, some of these kids, they never go outside.
I mean, working in a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
It's normal for me to see a kid sitting in the cart watching a show.
Yeah.
Knowing nothing that's going on around them.
No.
It's normal for me. Like I look down and it's just there now.
So that goes back to when my nephew first started driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of in between the iPad kids,
okay,
right?
Sure.
But he definitely in the car always had entertainment where we didn't, right? We looked around. I would watch my mom driving. I knew how to drive. I knew how to drive because I always watched my mom drive.
Oh, right.
He never watched any of us drive.
He was always looking down.
He had no clue. No clue. Which one's the gas and which one's the brake? Like,
sure.
No clue. The first car I ever drove was a manual.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to drive that, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just to go on something real quick. So we don't look down. We were always like, as kids, we're looking around. It's like, do you think that's why we all have anxiety now?
We noticed a little too much.
We're anticipating things that are going to happen because we were constantly watching our mothers drive.
Do they not have anxiety now? I mean, they have
I feel like it's
anxiety.
closed-in anxiety. Yeah, it's different anxiety.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
We could be totally, do we need to switch over to the next?
Yeah, right? Go over to anxiety makes me poop for the next episode. Kids with anxiety today and of yesteryear.
I love that. We're doing it. Number 8 is shared accessories and attire. I love this and hate this. My husband would absolutely hate it.
He would never.
He would never rent a suit.
No.
Although, even when we were in high school, we rented tuxes.
Well, high school is different. He didn't have that germ anxiety.
That's true.
Like thinking like, oh my God, somebody else's balls were in this suit, this pair of pants. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
very true.
Yeah. Just all dancing at a wedding or at prom, sweating all over it, you know?
And the shoes and stuff. So
bowling shoes.
So these kind of companies offer borrowed or rented clothing and accessories at a fraction of the purchase price as long as you return it. You don't.
Yeah.
If you don't return it, you pay in full for it.
I feel like a lot of celebrities do that.
Do they?
They rent jewelry.
Because don't people say who wore it best, and it's whoever wore like someone else's dress?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
On that same line, there's shared home improvement equipment, which makes sense. We have Ed's Rental out here.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Because you don't want to buy a wood chipper. You just need to use it for a day, right?
Unless you have a lot of land.
Or a few dead bodies.
You never know. So...
Fargo. I was just thinking of Fargo.
For the mound in my backyard. But the other, so we have Ed's Rental around here that is very popular, and they do everything.
Everything.
We've rented Johnny's dunk tank.
Yes.
Popcorn machines, slushy machines, and then it goes to like we bought 5 fruit trees, and you had to make the holes in the ground. So I don't know what they're called, but like the drills.
The tree hole
hole maker. Steve gets things for his company.
Trailers,
all
scaffolding.
I mean, anything, basically anything you can think of.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing a blank right now, but there was something that I was like, that is just the randomest thing. And I called them and they were like, yeah, we have sizes, we have a small, medium. I'm like, oh, all right. I can't remember what it was, but I couldn't believe it. They had it.
Yeah.
They
do have everything.
The next one is vacation rentals.
Yeah. You know what, though? I feel like that's falling off.
Do you know what I think started a lot of the trend on this is the movie The Holiday, where they swapped houses.
That was such a good movie.
Yes, with Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
And the chick from Titanic.
Was it the chick from Titanic?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember who the other chick is. I just remember Cameron Diaz.
What's his name?
And Jack Black.
Yes.
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 That was such a good movie.
I feel like that kind of started a little bit of the trend too, because they swapped houses and it was kind of like rent a house or whatever, and the actual place that they show on the computer is a real place. Because I remember looking it up a long time ago.
Stop it.
I would dial up on the Wi-Fi on the internet, and it was a real place.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I feel
you know
like
what?
that,
I think that the concept was wonderful.
Yeah.
Right? You take your family on a vacation. You don't want to stay at a hotel. It's like such a small area. oh, you can rent a whole house. Like, that's amazing. But then all these people ruined it. They ruined it. They want to charge you a $300 cleaning fee, but they want you to clean before you even leave.
Sure.
Like, now I'm just like, well, if I'm going to pay $500, I'm going to stay in a hotel.
Sure.
We don't give a shit if I leave my towels on the floor,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. We've had good luck with the rentals.
Yeah,
we
have.
One or two times that we did it. Once, maybe.
Yeah.
We had good luck. I think we did good. But electronics repair, again, they just don't make it like they used to. How about all those tube TVs that we all had for 25, 30, 80 years, whatever it was,
I probably still
right?
have one in my basement.
And cell phones, and, we're dropping them in water. And again, born with the cell phone in their hand or the iPad or the iPhone, right? Yeah. Academic courses, I think, are very big. Online entrepreneurs can offer courses through educational platforms, which is exactly what I am creating.
Yeah.
It's a 30-day, thing that I'm going to put on Udemy or whatever, whoever decides to take me on. And yeah, that's big. That is going to grow $170 billion by 2030.
Well, who has time to go to school?
Yeah.
Everybody has to work a full-time job.
And I got certified so that when people finish the course, they actually get a certification from me, a certificate. Oh, that reminds me of the TikTok. The way I just said that. They were asking, she's like, what do you have? And she's like, I have a certificate. She couldn't say. I have a certificate. You have a what?
Okay, because sometimes I forget how to say photography.
Ooh.
I go photography. How do you say that word? Like, if I'm reading it, I don't know how to say photography.
Sure.
I say photography.
I always have problems saying stuff. Always,
Yeah.
always. My mom took Latin. She's a nurse.
Oh, gosh.
And she took Latin. So I remember when we were younger, she would sound it out like how she would learn in Latin.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that she says that I say in my head, but it helps you spell it.
Yeah.
Again, I can't think of it now, but
That's
something like that.
I learned P-E-O-P-L-E. P-O-P-L-E. P-O-P.
Yeah,
I don't even remember how I used to say it.
Sure.
But however I said it was the way you spelt it.
Yeah.
P-O-P-L-E, whatever.
I remember there's some words that my mom still says every once in a while. So
yeah.
Language courses would be another one, very similar to that. Business or marketing courses, very similar.
Wait, what about the language course, though? What's that one with that bird? What's that language course with the what the hell is it called? And they always pop up on my TikTok, and they have a really funny like TikTok team.
Oh, really?
What is that dang bird?
Oh.
It's not Dodo, but it's Duolingo.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
And it's got a bird, and they make the funniest TikToks. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh, they must be very.
Yeah.
See, for me, I would feel like that's a little oversaturated, but it must not be, right?
I feel like it is too, because like you can just go on Amazon and buy like workbooks to like learn Spanish and stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. But it must work pretty well because they're pretty popular. So
another one on the online courses is hobbies or interests, but I feel like a lot of it can be done just on Instagram, Pinterest. There's a new one that's very similar. They're kind of competing against Pinterest, TikTok. Like, I hate to say it, but anytime I'm like, how do I do this? I either do YouTube, Google it to YouTube, or I go on TikTok.
Right.
But there are courses in different hobbies, and in a lot of it, I see a lot of crocheting.
Yes.
There's courses out there for crocheting.
I mean, that I feel like, you do kind of need somebody to show you how to do that.
Yeah. Or how about
and
craft
then once
brewing?
you know, then
How about like wine making?
Yeah. I feel like winemaking, I could probably just watch a video and
I could throw some grapes in a thing and leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got you put a balloon on top to like let it ferment and bubble up. And see, I already know how. I don't need no stinking class.
A couple more to just note is consulting. I think anyone can be a consultant if you're good at what it is.
When I
anything,
think
really.
of consulting, I think of lawyers.
Oh, sure.
I feel like you got to be a lawyer to consult. I don't know.
Sure. You can also
wrong.
be independent. You can get paid to speak at industrial conferences.
Okay.
Like I have a friend that is a former police officer and now a specialist in her field and line of work, and so she speaks out.
Yeah.
And I would consider her a consultant because I believe people reach back out to her and say,
"Can you speak to this
can you
group?"
speak to this group?" And she does. So I feel like that kind of falls under that.
Okay.
Yeah. She's fabulous.
Well, see, you got to be a genius.
But she is. No, she has always been a genius.
You got to be a genius or a lawyer to do that one. We'll never get there.
Another one's IT support.
IT is always going to be a huge thing from now until we blow this world up.
Yeah, with AI.
Yeah.
Graphic design. Social media management. That's a big one. That's what Julia's doing.
Yeah.
She's going back to school for that. And look what we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Marketing copywriter. That I thought was very interesting.
That seems like such a unique thing.
Coining a catchy slogan or writing an in-depth description of a company's offerings. You would do the copywriting of it.
Uncle Jesse on Full House when he would write the
Yeah, maybe
the little songs,
the
for
jingles,
the products.
or what do they call tingles?
Yeah, jingles. Yeah.
Tinkles.
I feel like a couple like movies and shows. That's what they did.
So we're basically famous.
Yeah,
and our lawyer copyrighted that.
Yeah.
No one can use that. That is ours, and
That's
we have
ours.
the proof.
Don't say it.
Anxiety makes me poop.
Yeah,
The Clopen Effect.
yeah,
That's all ours. It's all copyright. We went through a lawyer on that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So that's growing. How about virtual assistant services? Do we not do anything in person anymore? We have to do virtual?
So there is an app, and it's called Be My Eyes.
Oh.
And it's for blind people. And they will, so like your app will randomly ring, and it'll say, somebody says, I need help looking at this piece of paper. What does it say? Or I'm at the store right now, and I can't tell which one is the Campbell soup. Can you, point me in the right direction?
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that one up.
I mean, that's a really good one, I think, Here
Someone
I'm
needs to
looking in
start
my
a company
cupboard.
like
Can you
that.
tell me which one is sugar and which one is salt?
Really?
Yeah.
And they just say, put your hand out and go
Yep,
left, right,
yep.
or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's way more technical than
Right.
that.
Well,
but
basically, like they know their home, right? So you're going to be like, yep. Okay. So right there in the cabinet on the second shelf. Okay. Yeah. Your hand is, you're on the salt. Go to the left. Yep. That's the sugar,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I guess it's.
I guess there's so like probably, I'm just guessing, like we'll say like 3 million people willing to be their eyes, and there's only like 4,000 users,
Oh.
like so many people are willing to help.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I'm like, how many people need that?
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like a necessity for some, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is what we're going to do.
Okay, what are we going to do?
I'm going to close my eyes and go to my cabinet.
Oh, God, here we go.
And to my fridge.
She going to fall over.
And you're gonna speak to me, and we're going to make like BLTs or something, but I'm going to keep my eyes closed, and we'll record it. We'll let everybody know.
She's going to be stubbing her toe, falling over shit. Oh, sorry, that wasn't mayonnaise. That was heavy whipping cream. That was ranch.
That was... I wouldn't be mad.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks. That was great.
Yeah, good.
Everyone's like, how do you find things to talk about?
It's so random.
It is.
I just show up, and Meredith goes, this is what we're talking
Well,
about.
I gave you warning today a little bit.
Yeah,
I gave you a little bit of warning.
Yeah.
But it's just so neat because it's just the world is constantly changing. There's always something to
we
talk
always
about.
have something to talk about. Come on.
I know. We're like over 3.5 years. Can you believe it?
I just saw a meme again the other day. And I probably found it when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was like an artist sitting there like, I don't know if anybody will like this. And then it's like podcasters like, yeah, so anyways, I was doing this and my boyfriend was like, da, 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 da. We don't give a shit if you don't like it or not. We're going to talk anyway. So
right.
Listen.
Talk about oversaturated. Everyone's got a podcast.
That should be number one on the list.
That should be number one. Surprisingly, it's not on the list.
You know what? I think because a lot of people dropped off, right?
They do. They say most people do not make it to 3 years, and we're just going to keep going.
We're going to keep going.
This is a hobby that we're just going to keep going.
Whether you like it or not, we're going to keep doing it. So
I think a lot of people like it.
You might as well listen.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only do we have one podcast, we have two.
Yeah. So now, go over to the other one.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Maybe.
Maybe. If
we've been so inconsistent.
Well, shit happens. All right.